Hi everyone, and welcome to a public meeting of our school board. Today we have the public budget hearing 2021-2022 proposed budget. We will have citizen comments pertaining to the agenda items on item number 8 in our agenda today, and then any other agenda or non-agenda items, we'll have our citizens comments at item number 12 on our agenda today. So we've called the meeting to order, so now we will do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I would have asked for everybody to stand, but, you know. So now I will go to Barb for roll call.
Mrs. Filipiak is absent this evening. Mr. Klein.
I'm here.
Mrs. Lukey.
Present.
Mrs. McDonald.
Here.
Mr. Martin is absent this evening, and Mr. Miller is absent this evening. Dr. Warren.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. I will now be requesting the consent agenda items as listed be approved by the board as follows. Approval of June 21st agenda, approval of June 7th meeting minutes, approval of check registers dated 6/4/21, 6/7/21, 6/10/21, and 6/11/21, and approval of the wire transfers 5/14/21 through 6/14/21.
So moved.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Do we have any discussion? All right, since there's no discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right. That will lead us to president's comments, which Mr. Miller is absent today, so there are none. And that leads us to reading of communications, which is Mrs. Filipiak, and she's also not here today, so there are none. That will then take us to the public budget hearing 2021-2022 proposed budget. I will hand that off.
I appreciate it. Good evening, everybody. Always good to be with you guys, and I appreciate anybody in attendance attending this evening. Public budget hearing 2021 proposed budget. Ms. Tiffany Keith, Director of Finance, as required by law, a public hearing has been posted for the purpose of reviewing the proposed budget for the 2021-2022 school year. Ms. Keith has provided a draft of the proposed budget, which is posted on the district website for public review on the board meeting and finance department webpage. Ms. Keith is present this evening to answer any questions from the board members or citizens. Thank you. You're up. All set.
Oh, that's okay. Okay. Sorry, I thought she was presenting.
No, that's okay. Yeah, there's no action taken on that one.
Oh, thank you. Okay. So from here, I'm going to look, do we have any citizens' comments pertaining to the 2021-2022 proposed budget? Okay, so we do not have any comments, which will lead us to personnel. I will hand that back to Mr. Darga again.
Very good, thank you. Employment services, we are recommending that the individuals as listed be employed. The candidates were interviewed and recommended by committee. These positions became available as a result of bid pool, resignation, or retirement. As appropriate, background checks have been conducted. I'd also like to take at this time, I'd like to thank Dr. Matt Sokol and Mr. Pat Donahue. They were the lead people in working on all of our interview committees, so I do appreciate that assistance. Suggested motion that the recommendations for employment and services be approved by the board for the individuals as listed. Morgan Kendrick, summer camp worker, Riley Center. Steve Cosmore, industrial technology teacher, Allen Park Middle School. And Josephine Josie Zalka, resource room teacher at Allen Park Middle School.
So moved. Support.
It's been moved and supported. Is there any discussion? All right. With no discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, that leads us back to you, Mr. Darda, with resignations.
Very good, thank you. The following resignations and retirements have been received and accepted. Jeff Bice, varsity girls softball coach, Allen Park High School. Leonard Mikowski, ISS supervisor, Allen Park Middle School. And Michael Zachney, girls varsity basketball head coach, Allen Park High School.
Thank you. And that will lead us to introduction of new business, the 2020-2021 final budget.
Thank you. At this time, we are submitting the proposed final budget for the 2020-2021 school year. Ms. Keith will provide an overview of significant changes and is available this evening to answer any questions you may have. Ms. Keith, the floor is yours. Nope.
No.
There you go.
Try again.
Hi.
Hi, there you go.
Okay, good. Okay. Okay, so this is the presentation for the 2021 final budget. I will go over the general fund, which is our operating fund, athletic fund, food service fund, and capital projects fund. The estimated 2021 final budget projections are as follows. Total revenue, $42.9 million. Total expenditures, $42.8 million. That's an operating surplus of $89,147. And then net other financing sources is the net difference between the debt transfer in and supportive cafeteria fund of $89,805, which is a positive net change of $178,952, which brings my projected June 30, 2021 fund balance to $4.8 million or 11.27%. Total revenue is up $1.9 million, and these are explanation of differences from the 2021 budget amendment. And as you can see, the largest contributor to that overall revenue change is through the state and through federal sources. The state is up $1.3 million, and federal is up $444,000. The state change is mostly due to the ESSER SAF, or per pupil equalization funding, which was dispersed to districts who received less than $450 per pupil in original ESSER formula funds. And the reason for that was to give some equity among districts who were not eligible for large title dollars. And then the federal funding of the $444,000 is part of our ESSER 2 funds. And this is just a pie chart that shows the revenue overall. So as you can see, does that say? Oh, it doesn't. It didn't come over what it was. Okay. Sorry about that. Hold on. Just get my sheet ready. So this is a pie chart for overall revenue. The largest green section is state aid or categoricals, which is 85%, and that's $36,380,324. And then if you just go clockwise, the next green section is federal funding at 8%, which is $3.5 million. And then the little sliver of blue is our intergovernmental funding that we get through the ISD of 2%. Which is about $948,000. And then the last little sliver that's yellow is local revenue. That's 5%, and it's a little over $2 million. These are the final estimated expenditures, explanation of differences from the 2021 budget amendment. So overall, our expenditures are up $1.2 million. The top section is all the function codes that have expenditures up, and then the bottom section is the expenditure functions that expenditures went down. So the greatest contributors to our overall expenditures up are basic programs and added needs, which are both in classroom needs. Basic programs was up $490,000, and added needs is up $445,000. And between those two categories, what makes those expenditures go up is, we are adjusting to actual costs because my amendment was mid-year. And then in addition to that is the virtual teachers stipend payout, leave payout, and contracted services such as subs. And then the added needs also has our summer school program. And then the other large section that increased our expenditures is the operation and maintenance. That was $402,000. And that is adjusting to actual costs, including contracted services for HVAC quality checks and upgrades on filters, and additional COVID supplies and PPE equipment. Okay, so this pie chart did come through. Can you guys see that? Okay. So this is a pie chart for the overall expenditures. The largest section on the left, and then just if you work your way counterclockwise, which is probably backwards for everybody, but I'm left-handed, so that's what makes sense for me. So the largest section on the left is salaries at 50% or $21.1 million. And then the next section is retirement at 21% or $8.9 million. And then benefits at 10%, a little over $4 million, $4.1 million. Then purchase services, 4%, $1.9 million. Capital or equipment, 4%, $1.6 million. Supplies and materials, 4%, $1.6 million. Then FICA, 4%, $1.6 million. Utilities, 2% at $900,000. Contracted subs, 1% at $426,000. And then last is dues and fees, which says 0%, but it's just because it's less than 1%, at $167,000. So as is, our total personnel costs or our fixed costs, which includes salaries, retirement, benefits, and FICA, is 85%. And then when I take out the CARES funding, which are one-time expenses, our total personnel costs are 88%. Next is the athletic fund. So total revenue was $210 because we did not collect any gate admissions or activity fees. And then expenses for the high school are $377,000. Middle school is $89,000, and community school is $500. So the total expenses is $466,955. So general fund supports the difference, which in this year is $466,745. And then I just put a note on the bottom left-hand corner that says the average 3-year revenue collections for gate admissions and activity fees is around $133,000 a year. So general fund usually supports anywhere from $330,000 or $335,000 a year. This is our food service fund. Again, the USDA declared all kids eat free this school year, so our funding is all coming from federal funding per meal served. When I did my budget amendment in January, we had put some notes on what the plan was for when we return face-to-face and how we could get greater meals to be reimbursed. So we increase the number of meals on a grab-and-go option. Remote Wednesdays was a 5-day pass-out meal kits. And then when we returned to face-to-face, we also were able to return a la carte and adult lunch sales. So the year-end estimated final budget for food service, a la carte is $656 in revenue since we returned face-to-face. Miscellaneous or special activities is $4,327. State funding is $60,211. And federal funding is $686,500. I did receive information today, which was a little too late to make changes. My estimate for the May and June claims was lower than what we actually received, so I do anticipate the general fund support will not be $300,000. I'm guessing it'll be around $220,000, maybe $230,000. This slide is for our capital projects budget estimate, final budget estimated. Total revenue, $1.5 million. Expenditures to date, The only new thing I added, so I don't want to go through the entire list again, but the only new things we added from the amendment was library furniture for the community school, a portable stage for graduation, and the new Clever Touches for elementary. So total expenditures to date is $860,000. Funds available for the remaining of fiscal year '21 is $639,000. The fund balance for June 30th, 2020 was $1.5 million. So my projected fund balance for 6/30 of 2021 is $2.1 million. Also, the note on the side just says the last two things that were approved by the board to be paid for through capital projects or enhancement funds was the Signature Ford Transit van. That will not be delivered by June 30, so that will go into next year's enhancement funds. And the CNC machine for the high school, that will not be delivered by June 30, so that will go into next year. And then here's a updated CARES Act review. This is everything we've received to date, listed in order of grant award, meaning in order of funds that we received. ESSER 1, formula funds, $159,244. Items purchased, teachers' devices, and student desks. CRF funds, or Corona Relief Funds, $1,343,170. Items approved, student devices, both non-touch and touch screen, Google license, and student desks. District COVID costs, $47,279. Items purchased, cleaning supplies and equipment for health and safety. CCR or Child Care Relief Funds, $26,700. Items purchased, COVID supplies for latchkey and preschool, in addition to allowable salary and benefits. MyConnect, $23,410. Items purchased, elementary connectivity and hotspots. ESSER 2 funds, $359,735. Items purchased, school nurse contracted service, PPE supplies, and shipping containers for storage in the classrooms. And last, SAF or ESSER equalization, $890,006. Items purchased or funds used, virtual prep pay, elementary virtual for special teachers, HVAC air quality checks and filters. Total funds received to date is $2,849,544. And last is the general fund budget summary. The first column is our audit from 1920. That is our true fund balance. So every single amendment goes from the last true fund balance or our audit. The middle column shows my amended budget from January, and the last column on the right is my final budget for my projected year end. Total revenue, $42.9 million. Total expenditures, $42.8 million, which is the operating surplus of $89,147. And then net change of $178,952, which brings the fund equity to $4.8 million or 11.27%. Again, the summary just shows general funds, so this does not include any enhancement funds. If we were to include the enhancement funds, our fund balance would be about 16.3%. And that is all I have today.
Thank you, Tiff.
Thank you, Tiffany.
Thank you, Tiff.
Thanks. So I'm just going to do a little round robin here and see if anyone has questions for you. We'll start with you, Laura.
No, thank you.
All right. On to you, Mr. Klein.
No, it's just a comment. It's nice to have a fund balance like that.
Is what?
It's nice to have a fund balance of that size.
Yeah. Yeah.
Correct.
Yep.
And then on to you, Mrs. McDonald.
It's actually amazing to have a fund balance like that. It's something that
I'm very proud of.
we haven't seen in years.
I like that. I have just a couple random ones. Summer school, do we get state aid for that per student, or is that just something our school does?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Oh,
So,
summer school?
yeah, so
I can't look at you and talk at the same time.
Dr. Warren's question was about summer school funding. We were not eligible for state aid because our summer school program did not qualify. You had to run a full 8-week in-person summer school.
Okay, just curious.
Yep.
And then just thinking ahead, I see like the high school, the middle school, and the community school, like fields and stuff like that for the athletic. Do we estimate that cost? Do you think it will go down when we start to get turf? Like, do you think it will cost less? To
On the
take-
athletic fund?
No,
So-
like, yeah, do you think it'll cost less to take care of the field with the
Maintenance.
turf and stuff?
So that's not really part of the athletic fund. It's more along the lines of the sports and the coaches.
Oh, got it.
There are some equipment, but that's not necessarily field related or facilities related. That's just more
I was
sports
excited seeing
related.
something maybe going down.
It's like more like direct costs for that fund.
Awesome, awesome. And then my last one is just a kind of fun question. The little shipping containers for storage, do we get to get rid of those?
We actually own those.
Excited about that.
We own them, yeah. We bought them.
We own them.
We bought
If we can sell them, it'd be great.
If anybody would like to purchase them, you can,
Awesome. Thank you so much. This is amazing. Thank you. All right, and that then brings us to, I do believe, we don't have to vote on anything, right? That's,
You suggested motion. Yeah.
thank you. There we are. All right, so now that we all had time to discuss the suggested motion, let me get there. Ooh, I missed it. There it is. To adopt the 2021-2022 budget. So as presented, that's where I'm at, right? At the May 17th Board of Education meeting, the proposed budget is based upon the information currently available. A public budget hearing has been held. If the budget we have submitted is agreeable by the board, we ask that the budget be approved as presented. The budget must be adopted by July 1st. Again, Mrs. Keith is here to answer any questions you may have. So our suggested motion is that the proposed budget for the 2021-2022 school year be adopted as presented.
So moved. Support.
All right, any more questions or anything? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, it has been supported, so that will then take us to you again, superintendent's report, right?
Ms. Radowski, all set with number 1 and 2? Barb? Oh, yeah, all set. Or do we need to do 1? Yeah,
Okay,
budget adoption.
so budget adoption, does that
So-
go back to you?
Yeah, so we still have the suggested motion. We still have to do one more for the budget adoption, number 2. We read it, so we missed the first one, number
Oh, I'm
1.
so sorry.
That's okay. Number 1, we did the 2021 final budget, so we had the suggested motion that the proposed final budget 2020 school year be approved as presented. So we just got to move and support that one.
Perfect. So number 1. Okay. I'm so sorry, guys, I missed
That's
one.
okay. That's okay.
So the next one is that the 2020-2021 final budget, that the proposed final budget for the 2020-2021 school year be approved as presented.
So moved. Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any discussion on that? All right. All those in favor say aye.
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 Very good.
Okay, sorry about that. And that then will take us to
Yeah,
number
number
3,
three.
which is the general, which does go back to you, correct?
It does.
All right.
So general appropriations resolution for the 2021-2022 budget. Upon approval of the budget as presented for the 2021-2022 school year, we ask that the board approve the general appropriations resolution highlighting all the revenues and expenditures for the general fund budget, capital projects fund budget, food service fund budget, debt fund budget, and activity fund budget. The suggested motion that the general appropriations resolution for the general fund budget, capital projects fund budget, food service budget, debt fund budget, and activity fund budget as presented for the 2021-2022 school year be adopted.
Motion?
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And that will take us back to you, Mr. Darga, for number 4.
Yes, property tax rate certification, non-homestead and school debt bond rate. The property tax millage rate is used to support the general fund budget. The school debt bond rate of 12 mills will be used for the 2021-2022 school year, which is 11.21 allocated in March 03 and 0.79 allocated in May 21. The non-homestead general operating rate will be 16.8833 mills, and the non-homestead Headley restoration approved in March 2020 by the voters added 1.1167 mills, for a full authorized millage rate of 18 mills to be levied on non-homestead property in the district for the purpose of maintaining program staff and services. The suggested motion: that the Allen Park Board of Education adopt the rate certification resolution for the full authorized millage rate of 18 mills levied on non-homestead property in the district for the purpose of maintaining programs, staff, and services, and a school debt bond rate of 12 mills for the 2021-2022 school year.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and supported. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. All right, that will take us back to you, Mr. Darga, for number 5.
Correct. School Loan Revolving Fund, Michigan Department of Treasury. Public Act 92 of 2005 requires that district participating in the school bond loan program file an annual activity application. Ms. Keith is present this evening. Any questions you may have? Suggested motion: that the Board of Education adopt the attached resolution allowing the district to borrow from the State of Michigan School Loan Revolving Fund in the amount of $628,795.
Motion?
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any discussion?
Ms. Keith? Not really, just a clarification. So in which situations will we borrow from here? Is this pre-approval of some of the, like in the past, we've had to borrow to do early payroll when we dip low, we've often had to borrow money. Is that what this is for? Or is this something different?
So the school bond loan fund is a state-approved program where we can borrow to make debt payments when our debt payments exceed what we collect from revenue on
Okay.
the 12 mills. That's
Okay.
all it's used for.
Okay, cool.
Is this amount lower than it has been in the past?
So we just had 2 balloon payments these last 2 years, so this is very much lower.
That's what I thought. Okay, thank you.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. All right, that then takes us back to you, Mr. Darga, for number 6.
Number 6, 2021 refunding bonds ratification resolution. The 2021 bonds are being used to refinance a portion of the outstanding school loan revolving fund balance. The authorizing resolution was approved by the board at the May 5th, 2021 special meeting. Estimated savings in refunding bonds is $492,035. The SLRF is presently charging 3% interest, and the district has moved to a lower interest rate ranging from 0.25% to 1.60%. At this time, we are asking the board to consider approving of a ratifying resolution accepting the offer of Robert W. Baird and Company, Incorporated, at $5,480,000, which is the principal amount. The suggested motion: that the Allen Park Board of Education adopt the ratification resolution for the 2021 refunding bonds as presented.
Motion?
I'll second.
It's been moved and supported. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, back to you, Mr. Darga, number 7.
Number 7, 2021 School Building and Site Bond Series 1 Ratification Resolution. It states here, the authorizing resolution was actually adopted by the board on May 5th, 2021 at the special meeting. On June 3rd, 2021, the district was presented with an offer from the Robert W. Baird and Company, Incorporated, at $22,245,000 principal amount. The suggested motion: that the Allen Park Board of Education adopt the ratification resolution for the 2021 School Building and Site Bonds Series 1 as presented.
Motion. Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, that will take us back to you for number 8.
Cooperative Education Agreement with William D. Ford Career Technical Center, Wayne Westland Community School District. Recently, the district received information that the Allen Park Fire Department would begin a partnership with the William D. Ford CTE Center and Wayne Westland Community Schools to offer a firefighter course for high school age students beginning this fall. We can certainly open this opportunity to students at Allen Park High School and Allen Park Community School via a limited agreement with the Wayne Westland schools. Students would attend Allen Park High School or Allen Park Community School for academic core classes and remain Allen Park Public School students. We go on to list, we have a web link there to list all of the different courses. The suggested motion is that the Allen Park Board of Education approve the cooperative education program agreement with Wayne Westland Community Schools for the 2021-2022 school year.
Motion?
Support?
It's been moved and supported. Do we have any discussion?
Tiffany, would we send like a sixth of their FTE if they attended one class there? Is that how that works? Just a straight up?
I think they're technically block classes, so it would be more than that, but yeah, a
Right.
prorated amount, exactly.
Okay, gotcha, thanks.
Is this limited to the firefighting program at this time, or is it open to all
No,
these?
yeah, we'll be opening up, there's, on this next page, there's gonna be,
It's open to all those?
yeah.
Yeah,
Were you, I don't know how to ask this diplomatically. So, in the past, we belonged to a consortium, it was called DCTC.
Yep.
Is this kind of more the same?
similar, yes.
Is there an annual membership fee?
There is no annual membership fee, it is only the cost of the FTE. Correct, Barb? Yeah,
Yeah,
you're right,
yeah.
there's no cost.
No fees.
So you,
Because as I recall, that cost us about $180,000 a year, and we were supposed to be getting students in
Yep.
as well, but that never happened, so it was an expensive.
yeah, this is this is just a one-way stream, and it's only pay as we use it. So
We
there's,
only pay if we use it.
and so if nobody goes next year, we pay nothing. For the kids that go, we just pay their prorated amount.
Do we bus them or are they getting out there on their own?
We can do either. So I have experience with this in my former district, and we had students that we sent a bus every day, but students also took the opportunity to drive.
Okay. Cool.
Would any extra expenses go on the students, like uniform, dress, stuff like that?
So it just depends on what,
The
it
class.
depends on the program, it depends on what they offer, what's part of the, the activity fee and those kinds of things.
Yeah, there was something in here about, the uniform dress that
Right.
they needed. Is that,
Page 6.
right? Is
And again,
that-
if there was a need for student assistance, we've got all of that data.
Awesome.
So we'd be able to help assist students if they're on the free reduced lunch program, whatever it may be.
But otherwise, it's on
Yeah,
them.
otherwise, right.
Okay.
I like it. I like anything that's
Yeah, it's
going to
really
help
cool.
advance our students.
I agree.
Especially those students that are looking for a different avenue versus your four-year college. So I think that is really amazing that we're able to help them out. And like Mr. Klein said, to be able to bus them if needed. I mean, that Wayne Westland is not like it's next door, right?
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So, that's nice too, especially at gas costs and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
and to Mrs. McDonald's point, it's nice that it's just kind of a use it as we,
Right.
pay as we go, because,
I do have another question, though. It seems like there's some overlap between their offerings and what we offer at the high school. Are there
Yeah,
any-
if we have the same course, they must use the Allen Park High School courses, not necessarily their courses.
Okay.
So, yeah, if we offer autos, we would not allow a student then to register for autos.
Like architecture and
Exactly,
design
yep.
and
It's only
gaming?
courses we do not offer,
Okay,
yeah.
all right. Okay, then.
Game design and programming. My little one's going to be so excited when he gets.
Right.
All right. So, any other discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That takes us to number 9. Back to you, Mr. Darga.
Board Policy, Section 8,000, Operations, Section 9,000, Relations, second reading and adoption. At the June 7th board meeting, Neola Board Policy, Section 8,000, Operations, and Section 9,000, Relations were presented for the first reading. Board members carefully reviewed the policies. Of any questions were submitted were answered. At this time, we are recommending that these final sections of our Neola Board Policy Manual be adopted in entirety. The end product will be posted on the district website as public information and will be updated as appropriate through legislative changes or by suggested change by the board and/or administration. The suggested motion that the Allen Park Board of Education adopt the Neola Policy, Section 8,000 operations, section 9,000 relations as presented.
So moved.
Support.
Sorry. Wrong pipe. All right. It's been moved and supported. Any discussion? All right, since there's no discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, that takes us back to you, Mr.
Very
Darrow.
good. First, I want to commend the board on the Neola policies. This is a Herculean task. As those who've been on the board for a while, this is a multi-year project. We really did it do justice, and I'm extremely excited to be working with Neola, and they've assisted us along the way. But this really does help us in the district really kind of get ourselves back in line with a lot of the policies and procedures that we've all participated in. So again, thank you for that vote. I'm excited to kind of get this up and running and on the website. Number 10, renewal of administrative contracts. At this time, I'd like to recommend the approval of the administrative and administrative support contracts through June 30th, 2023. Current contracts expired on June 30th, 2022. I'm pleased to report that I have conducted evaluations for building principals and central office administration, and I'm extremely fortunate to have these outstanding individuals providing leadership at the building and district level. All administrative evaluation ratings this year are either effective or highly effective, and again, as our board members know, they're more than welcome to come in and view administrative evaluations at any time. Please note that this is not a typical school year. Staff, parents, and students are encouraged to participate in school climate surveys. Obviously, last year and this school year, we were not atypical in any way. Although several surveys did go out to staff, parents, and students the last 2 years, they did not involve feedback on school culture. School climate surveys are provided annually through Advanced Ed, and in 2017, the district also utilized a comprehensive district climate survey created in-house. Advanced Ed, a nonprofit that helped educators improve schools and enhance learning, is now called Cognia, which is a forward-thinking, nonprofit organization laser-focused on improving educational opportunities. Dr. Tufelsky and I will be exploring school district improvement e-proof surveys for early fall for staff participation, or perhaps creating another in-house survey. Survey outcomes will be shared with administrators and will be utilized when formulating fall administrative goals. Suggested motion that the following administrative employment agreements be extended to the June 30th, 2023 for the following individuals. Andrews Bruce, Middle School Assistant Principal, Athletic Director. Bolish Ashley, Operations Assistant. Britannic John, Systems Administrator. Davis Ron, Auditorium Manager, Center for the Arts. Dawson Michael, High School Assistant Principal, Athletic Director. Donahue Patrick, Middle School Principal. Grant Elise, Administrative Assistant for Human Resources. Keith Tiffany, Director of Finance. Kelly John, High School Principal. Laura Shawn, Director of Community Schools and Services. Lee Elizabeth, Community Services Coordinator. Lott Kathy, Lindman Principal. Metzger Sarah, Benny Principal. Mahalik Adam, Director of Technology. Payne Joni, Payroll Benefits Coordinator. Rogers Karen, Accounting Supervisor. Sokol, Dr. Matthew Sokol. Sorry, reading it as it comes. Director of Special Education. John Tufelsky, Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction. Ward Patrick, Director of Operations. Zdrowski Barb, Administrative Assistant. And Zielinski Steve, Arno Principal.
Motion?
Support.
All right. Do we have any discussion?
Yes. I spoke to Mr. Darg about this during the week. I am concerned that no surveys went out to families, students, and staff. I think that that's a big part of the information that we need to consider when renewing administrative contracts. And I'd like to see that process more formalized. And it sounds like, there's movement towards that, but we can't let this fall through the cracks. It is, as far as I'm concerned, still part of the law, isn't it? The evaluation?
Yeah,
law?
there's always input. Yep.
Yeah, so I'm concerned about that.
So after our talk, I did reach out to the Downriver Soups and throughout Wayne County. No one had done their culture surveys based on the numerous surveys that were done throughout the year to our parents and families based on just the being remote or in person. As a pandemic year, as talking with many of the superintendents, the whole idea that so many of our parents, viewed whether we were in school or out of school. Not everybody was on the same page throughout the year. It was a bit of a tumultuous year as far as what we were going through with our families and students. So they felt that obviously coming off a pandemic year, just like with our teaching staff, I had put out a letter to our teaching staff working with their evaluations and utilizing the data. This year we were utilizing 40% data, and I encouraged our teachers that we would always look to assist our teaching staff, and therefore a letter went out letting know that nobody would be lower than an effective rating. And therefore that same thought process went right through for my administrative team as well. But I do agree.
But the teachers were all evaluated, weren't they?
What's that?
The teachers were all evaluated,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And so are all the administrators, correct.
Okay.
Yeah, I like your point. I like the fact that we would ask the teachers what they think of,
How things are going.
how things are going. Yeah,
And like I say, usually we have those culture surveys every year. So hopefully this next year, now we got this new Cognia program, and it seems like their surveys are even a bit different than what we used to use, which was called eProve.
Okay.
So we'll go ahead and pick those back up under this new system. It'll be interesting to see how they actually. We've not used those yet, the Cognia ones.
Okay.
So it'll be interesting to see how they do. And as Ms. McDonald said, when she came to visit me, we talked about the importance of almost even adopting something that's a little bit more, you can always take something and tweak it, make it our own.
right.
So maybe we look at these Cognia surveys and then, is it really, giving us the feedback we truly need or want? And
Yeah.
maybe, again, back in 2017, we created our own, maybe we go back to that.
Yeah, I definitely like that.
Yeah.
That thought process is asking, I know I'm evaluated
Yep.
as an instructor every year, right, by my students. So, I still was evaluated this summer,
Yeah.
my summer course. So I definitely see the need for that and the importance for that. But of course, as always, I appreciate the fact that you did your due diligence, and you said that you audited them all, correct? Right, reviewed them all. Okay.
Okay, it was a little difficult for me to understand what you're saying. There's a lot of reverberation.
Yeah, there is, yeah.
But we had talked about perhaps a focus group of
Yeah.
parents, staff, and...
That's what I was saying. Yeah, so I talked about, again, like when you come in, we talked about tweaking one to
Yes.
kind of make it our own.
Correct.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I think with this new Cognia survey, we've not used it yet, so I think if we look, bring that up and look at it, then whether we create a focus group or whoever it is, review what that is, and is it really capturing the data we want? And if not, then tweak it to meet those needs. I think that would be very valuable.
I think that's important to
Yeah.
include, certainly.
Yeah, absolutely, seeing what the staff and
Yeah.
the families thought of, of course, right now, if there's families that are not happy no matter what, right?
Right, yeah,
Understand.
just-
So I
yeah.
definitely understand that.
Yeah, that's kind of what we were thinking of, more of a big picture. But, and the nice thing about the surveys, the culture surveys, and, whether you're a superintendent or as a building principal at Lindemann, we get all of our parent feedback, and that's what helped us create building goals based on parent feedback that we're receiving about, what they thought was working or not working, or if something was, we needed to tweak certain things in the office based on survey data. So it's always valuable information.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, are these surveys, are they nullified if they're turned in anonymously?
So those ones are not, because again, they're community surveys. If we were to do one that was specific to evaluations, they would have to be, their names would have to be on them from staff. We would not accept anonymous surveys, not for an evaluative type purpose.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I have a quick question about that, just because, so say we'll use teacher Bob Barker, right? So
Yeah.
say Bob Barker didn't like his principal, Sam Betty, and he wanted to, I don't want to use anyone's real name,
Right,
you know,
right.
and somebody assume.
Yeah.
So say Bob Barker did not like Sam, would Sam be able to know that? Like Sam gets to see that?
So what happens is if the person has an opportunity to fill out their survey, and as well as beyond surveys, we make ourselves available. Like I've met with numerous teachers over the past 4 years, when they've had concerns. And a lot of that times, depending on what the nature of it is, doesn't necessarily mean it goes back to the principal, but it helps build a story
Yeah.
about what's happening.
Yeah.
So it's really, in the surveys that we would do that would go out to staff would be formalized where they should be able to be shared. There would be nothing in those that would then, identify, a certain thing. However, if there was a situation that needed more confidentiality, then they would be able to reach out to myself and select an appointment. And we can go through Mr. Berkey as the union president. Usually the three of us would sit down together and talk through a situation.
So not destroying the
Right,
relationship.
exactly.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Sorry, that just
And there is confidentiality issues too.
popped up, so.
Yeah. Sure, no, good questions, very good questions.
Any other comments down there? All right, so the comments are done, so now we will take a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Aye.
All right. That will then take us to the superintendent's report. Back to you again, Mr. Darga.
First off, I just want to say congratulations to the Allen Park High School varsity softball team. And what a run. Congratulations to the entire coaching staff and, of course, all the girls. But just equally important, the families. The parents that travel with the team. I was able to attend the state final match Saturday at Michigan State University, and what a match it was. So proud of our girls and just to see them, but more the community coming together. We had the Allen Park Police Department, and I would love to thank the chief for that, as well as all the officers that participated. They were in the lot with all of our students for a huge send-off. They had a police escort all the way to Lansing from our officers, and again, just the love that was shared on Facebook by all of our community members, alumni. So to see the community come together and rally behind events that happen here at the school, again, just go ahead and it talks about the importance of like one community. We see the hashtag all the time from our Allen Park Police Department, and we also use the same hashtag, one community. We truly are one community. When you have a community like Allen Park that comes together and supports our initiatives, we support their initiatives, and it truly is magical. So again, to see those families, congratulations to our athletes, congratulations to our coaches. We cannot wait for next year. Yeah. So that's it for me. I just wanted to really talk about the team.
It's amazing. Okay, that brings us to citizens' comments. Do we have any? All right. Thank you, Barb. Look at that. Dr. Pavelski, you don't have to
I'm off the hook.
That's
right.
That will bring us to reports of officers, and I'll just go in order. Laura, you're first.
Okay, thank you. What Mr. Dargan has just commented on, congrats to the girls softball team on an amazing season. That was just incredible. So exciting, and to turn on the local news and hear the name gave me goosebumps. So just big stuff and excited for the future for them. Last meeting, I wish I would have taken the opportunity when Miss Moran was here just to thank her for everything that she's done for our school district, things that she's done for me personally. She was so gracious and kind to me when I was learning to be a new advisor for Model UN, and I'm just going to miss her tremendously. And I just want to thank her for all of that, and just what an amazing example she is as a strong female leader. My oldest daughter had a lot of opportunity to work with her like over the past year and a half, and when she heard she was retiring, she was bummed out for my other siblings and the students in the building still, and she's like, I just hope she has a happy retirement. She's like, Karen Moran deserves the world. And I wish I would have shared that when Miss Moran was here last week. As far as the renewal of contracts, after listening to news reports about staffing shortages and people deciding to make post-pandemic career changes, I say thank you all for staying. If it were up to me, I'd give you a raise after this past year. And that's all. Thanks very much.
Thank you. I think we'd all like to give them a raise if we could, right? All right, Mr. Klein, that takes us to you.
Mostly just thank you, Ms. Keith. I know what a frenetic end of a year can be as you get to June 30th and close the fiscal. A lot of work, so thank you. I know a lot of work went into that. The only other thing I was thinking, I wasn't going to say anything, but obviously congratulations to the softball team. But Mike, you mentioned community, and I got to go back to that bond piece. That it's not that it passed so overwhelmingly. I think that was a really powerful signal from the community that they want the school district to be a part of Allen Park as a larger community. And I think so it speaks to that idea that that it was a community event as we went, as, people went out to this game to see that. And I think that we're just, we're coming out of the pandemic, and I think it's really good to remember that we really are still a community, and it's nice to see more evidence of that. So congratulations to the girls softball team, but even more so for bringing us together again in another opportunity. So thank you.
I love that, bringing us together. All right, that goes to you. Oh, sorry, Mrs. McDonald.
Thank you. I'd like to congratulate the new hires. Always nice to have new faces on the team and part of our community. And my no vote for the administrator renewals was not a reflection on what they're doing and their value and their worth to our district at all. It's just, I want a fuller picture. I think that's important that we formalize that procedure, and it sounds like we're on our way, and so until we're there, that's why you got my no vote this time. But I'd like to thank everybody for their Herculean efforts this year. Tiffany, outstanding report as always. Thank you for that. And those who resigned or retired, especially, our sports programs and ISS and things like that, we couldn't survive without help from our community members and that. So thank you for your service. It's so important to the kids, and like with the varsity softball team, you never know where it's going to lead.
Right.
This was our first state champion, right? First states ever.
First time we've ever gotten there.
Yep, so that's amazing, and let's keep it going.
Right? Yeah, I think we've been district champs. I mean, they ran out of fingers, so like in a row, right? Like it was like something crazy, like 16 or something years in a row, right? Like they ran out of fingers. So, right. So, absolutely amazing. So yeah, just echoing, my fellow colleagues, it's just been absolutely amazing. I as well loved the community support for the varsity softball team. I thought it was so cool, like even putting on Facebook, and people who don't have kids in the district, but maybe went to the school or have a grandkid that went, was coming along or whatever. Like everybody was just like, go, wear your green, wear your white, like this is awesome. So it was really cool, just how you were saying as well, just bringing it together as a community. And I absolutely love the support. I know many of those girls on there, and I know they do too. They were so excited. So I think that is just absolutely amazing. So thank you so much. Congratulations. And that's all I have. Do any of you have anything before I? All right. So now I'm just looking for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
It's been moved and supported. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Thank you. That is all. Thanks for joining us.
Don't forget to unplug. Take these off.